Suddenly, a massive bipedal creature charges at him. A young boy sets out into the woods alone, armed only with a camera and a flashlight. He had always been curious about what the forest looked like at night, despite his parents' warnings against it. On this particular night, he would discover exactly why they urged him to stay away from this specific area. As he explores, he begins to hear rustling sounds nearby, as if something large is approaching. Suddenly, a massive bipedal creature charges at him.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
The footage reveals an enormous figure, covered in dark hair, appearing to be a blend of human and large ape features. Just as it lunges toward him, the video abruptly cuts off, likely due to the boy's panic as he turned off the camera in an attempt to escape. It remains unclear what happened to him after the recording, but it's presumed he is safe since he managed to share the footage with the world, indicating his camera made it out intact. Perhaps the boy chooses to remain silent to avoid complicating his life or revisiting traumatic memories of the night he was nearly attacked by an unidentified creature in the woods. What are your... One day, a hiker was out on a trek when he came across something utterly unexpected. As an experienced outdoorsman, he had encountered many strange sights in nature, but what he found that day not only shocked him, but left a lasting scar.
Where was that? Jesus.
The gruesome sight was truly unsettling. It appeared to be the corpse of a baby Sasquatch. It looked incredibly lifelike, and the hiker is convinced it's genuine. The face showed signs of slight decomposition, but its features were still discernible. The creature had a large, veiny stomach, with sparse fur in that area, along with slender limbs. The level of detail on this being is astonishing. On November 24th, 2024, one of the most frightening images of Bigfoot surfaced, accompanied by the caption, "Bigfoot looking through cabin window." Here's the photo. Unfortunately, there isn't much information available about it. The location remains undisclosed, and the person who snapped the picture has not provided many details. However, one thing is certain: it's utterly chilling. Just picture being alone in a secluded cabin in the woods while this creature peers in at you through the window. I'd probably sell my cabin and never return. Take a look at this image. Its right eye glows, while the left one does not. It has a strong, large primate-like face, a broad nose, a prominent brow ridge, and a straight mouth. While some people describe Bigfoot as majestic and captivating, this particular sighting is anything but. I wish there were more details available, perhaps even a video, but regardless, it's one of the most terrifying Bigfoot images out there. In October, what began as a typical Snapchat video transformed into something quite bizarre. Later, an anthropologist examined the footprints and estimated they belonged to a creature about 15 feet tall. Experts agreed that the prints seemed to be genuine. A brand new, potentially groundbreaking Bigfoot video dropped on March 5th, 2025. This time from none other than the Discovery Channel, a source known for its credibility. They shared the clip with a provocative caption. Is this the proof we've been waiting for, or just the beginning of something bigger? Here's what they captured.
Right there. Are you seeing that? Holy right there, just zoom in, right there. Are you seeing that?
I saw something. What the I just saw it again.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Okay.
Now that doesn't look like a bear, does it?
No, it's crazy good.
That was upright.
Watch it again.
Yeah, it's walking.
The footage comes from the team behind Expedition Bigfoot, who are no strangers to trekking through wild terrain in search of the elusive creature. Most of the time, their findings are interesting, but inconclusive. This time, though, things felt different. While scanning a tree-covered mountainside with a long-range camera, the crew spotted something unusual. As they zoomed in, the camera briefly captured what appeared to be the head and shoulders of a massive bipedal creature, undeniably Bigfoot-like. What we're seeing looks like an actual ape-like creature, just standing there, partially hidden in the foliage. Let's take a look at a newly released Bigfoot sighting, captured on May 18th, 2025. This one was caught on a trail cam set deep in the woods. It was filmed in the dead of night, and while the exact location remains classified, is believed to have been taken somewhere in the U.S. What really sets this clip apart is the eye shine. The creature's eyes are glowing intensely. If this were someone in a costume, it's extremely unlikely their eyes would reflect light in this way. Human eyes don't typically produce this kind of glow. That trait is more common in nocturnal animals. Now, some trail cameras can pick up a faint eye reflection in humans, but when we apply light filters to this footage, the figure becomes much more defined. And that's when things start to look eerily real. What we're seeing looks like an actual ape-like creature, just standing there, partially hidden in the foliage. But here's the catch. We don't have apes living in the wild here in the U.S. So, what is it? That's when he spotted what appeared to be a face, hidden in the brush, watching him. This image comes from Harley Owens, known as Bigfoot Reports and Data on TikTok. The photo was taken in the Smoky Mountains, and here's what he had to say about it. On December 9th, 2024, I was out exploring my research area and decided to venture into a section I'd never been to before. I always notice a shift in energy when I'm near this spot. Feeling that familiar sense of being watched, Harley decided to turn on his backtrail camera as he continued deeper into the woods. The area, surrounded by thick forests, steep hills, and rugged mountains, he describes as an ideal hiding place for Bigfoot. As he hiked, he began noticing more and more signs of possible Bigfoot presence. Things like broken trees, unusual structures, arches, and what appeared to be possible nesting sites. He even mentioned the hairs on the back of his neck standing up, a reaction he's learned not to ignore. After returning home, Harley reviewed around 2.5 hours of trail cam footage. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until this moment. That's when he spotted what appeared to be a face, hidden in the brush, watching him. The face looks dark and shadowed, with deep-set eyes, a domed skull, broad shoulders, and an expression that seems both human and ape-like. Harley claims you can make out its eyes, nose, cheekbones, and even its hairline. It's a pretty compelling image. You can hear all the fear in the guy's voice when he saw Bigfoot, but the question is, why does Bigfoot move on all fours? In a small town in the south of the state of Washington battlefield, a young man was walking through a local park, wanting to capture the nature of the coming spring, but suddenly listening to the bushes and coming closer to check, he saw it. We haven't seen anything like this yet. The creature on all fours is approaching the guy very quickly. You can hear all the fear in the guy's voice when he saw Bigfoot, but the question is, why does Bigfoot move on all fours? After chatting with their friends, they came up with several explanations. First, if a Bigfoot is a primate, then moving on all fours, quadrupedalism, may be a natural part of its motor scheme, like in gorillas or chimpanzees. Such animals most often move on 4 limbs, using a fist gait when they rely on bent fingers. Further, moving on all fours can provide greater stability on difficult or slippery terrain, such as slopes, swamps, and dense undergrowth.
Look at the size of that thing!
We captured this footage last September during a 6-day canoe trip with friends on Lake Ashigan, Minnesota. One afternoon, a couple of friends left our campsite to explore a nearby trail and take some scenic photos. While out there, they suddenly heard strange noises coming from the bushes nearby and immediately started recording.
Did you hear that? Dude, that's like something's knocking, dude. That's not a woodpecker. Do you have your camera? I can't see it. Is that a bear?
Look at the size of that thing!
Dude, that's not a bear. That's not a bear. That's not a bear.
You can clearly hear 2 loud wood knocks at the beginning of the clip. It's worth noting that these guys are quite familiar with Bigfoot-related phenomena. At first, they assumed the massive, fast-moving creature they spotted was a bear, until they saw it sprinting upright through the forest on 2 legs. While the exact location of the sighting hasn't been disclosed, we do know the photo was taken in 2023. Overall, it presents a very compelling image of a purported Bigfoot in high definition. In Utah, a man was walking through the woods during the construction of his house in the woods, resting on a tree stump. He got up and noticed a figure in the background, immediately turning on the camera and began recording everything that was happening. Let's take a look. In the background, behind the trees, we see a hairy and dark figure that was looking at the author of the video. But after a few seconds, we see a new movement. The Bigfoot is moving through the thicket from left to right. A newly uploaded video, shared on June 25th, 2024, has only been viewed by about 1,000 people so far. The footage shows a man investigating strange sounds and movements in the woods at the edge of his property. Driven by curiosity, he ventured closer, and what he discovered was astonishing. The short clip captures a massive creature emerging from the dark forest. Upon realizing it's been spotted, the creature turns and retreats, moving cautiously as though trying to stay unnoticed. The man filming is left both stunned and intrigued, estimating the creature to be at least 9 feet tall. He describes it as a bipedal beast, covered in thick gray and black fur. When the frame is paused, the features closely resemble the descriptions of Bigfoot, though only the upper half of the creature is clearly visible. The video has convinced many viewers online that this could be a genuine Bigfoot sighting, and the man who recorded it believes so as well.
One, the Quarry's Whisper User, True Commission 5255, date, April 24th, 2024. The sun dipped low over Jedediah Smith State Park, painting the pines in blood-red hues as I eased my truck into the forgotten rock quarry along South Fork Road. The dogs bounded out, oblivious, their barks echoing off sheer walls like distant warnings. I hammered stakes into the earth, flames licking the grill as twilight clawed at the sky. Then it started, a low hum, vibrating through the ground, rising into howls that twisted the air, circling closer, closer. I laughed it off, zipping into the tent with my audiobook's murmur as a fragile shield. But the dogs, they went rigid. Growls rumbled from their throats, eyes fixed on the river's black ribbon. Something massive thrashed the underbrush across the water, heavy, deliberate crashes that shook leaves from branches. My pulse quickened. I lunged for the car, slamming the door just as the first rock struck. Thud. Another. Thud, thud, thud! The fifth exploded through the windshield in a spray of glass, inches from my face. Engine roaring, I fled to a Walmart lot's harsh glow, but sleep evaded me. The next night, deeper in the redwoods near Willow Creek, shadows thickened like conspirators. A stranger at the trailhead eyed me too long, alone. He stammered about heebie-jeebies and vanished into the dusk. Sunset bled over the riverbank. I knelt by wildflowers, breath steadying. Then, eyes. Honey brown, unblinking, locked from across the creek. 8 feet of coiled fury emerged from the gloom, shaggy fur rippling over sinew, a bipedal colossus that shouldn't exist. Seconds stretched into eternity, our stares a silent war. No sound. No movement. Until the voice slithered into my skull, gravel deep, I stumbling through endless black woods, shadows with teeth closing in. It blinked. Gone. But the warning lingered, colder than the night. I packed in frenzy, tires screaming down the mountain, knowing the beast wasn't the hunter. It was the prey. 2. Echoes from the Canopy User, Lazy Replacement 6020, date, September 18th, 2025. The switchbacks to Ice Lake clawed upward like veins of jagged stone, each step in Silverton's aspen-choked wilds stealing breath from our lungs. 3 hours of torment, sweat-stinging eyes, our German-Aussie shepherd mix vanishing ahead in playful bursts, until the basin. 10 minutes of stolen peace, then thunder growled, herding us back into the maw of level 3 forest. Sunlight died here, swallowed by ancient trunks that pressed in, whispering secrets we couldn't hear. A growl slithered from the thicket, low, guttural, not quite animal. My friend halted. I muttered owl, but doubt gnawed. Coyotes jeered from afar, mocking our haste for the dog's sake. Then nothing. The world exhaled, holding its breath. Hairs rose on our necks, skin crawling as if watched by 1,000 unseen eyes. Wait. Listen. There, a whoop, primal and thunderous, erupting from the canopy like a gorilla's rage fused with hell's echo. It rolled, multiplied, branches shuddering overhead. "Run!" she hissed, and we shattered the silence, legs pistoning down treacherous drops, rocks skittering like fleeing vermin. 2 hours' trail vanished in 30 minutes of blind terror, cracks pursuing like footfalls, closer, hungrier. We erupted into the aspen fringe, hearts hammers in our chests, slamming into the car as the final snap echoed mockery. No bear mimics that bellow. No elk. No human throat births such dread. Even now, replaying calls in the dead of night yields silence, only the memory of that something vast, demanding we leave, before it claimed what it craved. 3. Shadows on the Docks user, Southwest Seer, date, March 29, 2025. Oregon's wild heart pulsed under September's fading warmth as I claimed Aspen Point near Lake of the Woods. Whispers of cryptids be damned, just a fool's campfire tale. Days melted into hikes, the lake's mirror surface luring me deeper, but night 3 birthed unease. Dusk bled into the forest's throat. I quickened my pace back to camp, every rustle a suspect. Then, an icy prick at my nape like fingers tracing spine. Branches cracked. Once. Twice. Rhythmic closing the yards behind me. I froze, breath fogging, peering into ink-black nothing. Footsteps? Game. Or something pacing my retreat. Panic ignited. I bolted, thorns raking skin, convinced it toyed with me, drawing out the chase. Night 4, moon bloated and merciless, insomnia hurled me into the fog-shrouded docks. No crickets. No breeze. Just the water's lap, a siren's lie. Cracks resumed, nearer, heavier like bones splintering under weight. Dread coiled tight, I sprinted, beam flailing wild, roots betraying my ankles until I sprawled, light spinning into void. In that spill, it lunged, pitch silhouette barreling from the tree line, moonlight carving its horror. 8 feet of gaunt menace, ebony fur matted over a humanoid cage of ribs, crowned by a wolfish snout, snarling silent fury. Beady eyes gleamed, arms like reaper's hooks dangling low. 5 seconds of locked terror, predator's calculus weighing my scream's worth. Then it dropped, quadrupedal blur vanishing into mist faster than shadow itself. Gasping in the clearing, pulse a war drum, I realized the truth too late. Not Sasquatch's ghost, but the dogman's kin. Pacific Northwest's ravenous myth, now flesh and unfinished. Wings over the trailer user, 8 Infinitas. Date November 17, 2024. Oklahoma's rural vale thinned that crisp night in the late 90s, when I was just a kid chasing stars with my cousin on the roof of Uncle's weathered horse trailer, our sanctuary from the world's weight, parked at the wood's edge behind the school, where light pollution bowed to the infinite black. Binoculars in hand, we sprawled under the dome of constellations, whispers of planets and myths trading places with the rustle of leaves. But as we edged closer to the trailer on our approach, shadows betrayed us. Flaps of black, like shredded trash bags snagged in the wind, draped across the metal skin. Curiosity clawed. My cousin flicked on the flashlight, beam slicing the dark like a hesitant blade. 15 feet away it uncoiled. Grayish-black form unfurling from the gloom, tattered bat wings stretching wide as a nightmare's embrace, humanoid torso rippling with unnatural sinew. Then the face, slit nose flaring, shark teeth glinting in rows of feral promise, and those eyes, giant glowing crimson orbs that pierced the night, locking onto us with a hunger older than fear itself. Cold breath fogged the air as it hissed, low and guttural, wings quivering in the chill like a predator savoring the hunt. Time fractured, our screams choked in throats gone dry, legs leaden under that gaze, the woods holding breath in complicit silence. It tilted its head, as if weighing our soul's worth, before the spell shattered. We bolted, thorns tearing flesh, lungs burning through the underbrush to the house's frail glow. My uncle stormed out, gun shooting echoes into the woods, spotlight showing empty trails where nothing, no tracks, no sign, should have lingered. Dawn brought school, art class, and mundane class, until the teacher summoned an image on her screen. Mothman, exact in and our Farrar mirroring the horror we'd fled. Activity ceased after that night, but the red stare haunts me still. Whispers of doom in every shadow, a harbinger's promise that the creature may only appear again. 8. Red glow in the mist user, physical dog 2462, date June 7th, 2025. Forest Park's paths wound like veins through St. Louis's greenery, with dusk turning into the haze of early summer as I leashed Max for his evening walk. Our ritual against the city's hum, the air thick with joggers and distant traffic sounds. Last week, whispers were talked about in the park, eyes in the trees, wings in the fog, but folklore was for tourists, not a man, and Max tugged ahead, nose to the dew-kissed grass near the zoo's fringe, where oaks reached at the sky like forgotten wards. Then there was a prickle at my nape. Max froze mid-stride, hackles rising, a low whine threading the quiet. I scanned the mist-shrouded tree line, breath shallow, dismissing the rustle as wind whipped branches. But the glow bloomed, twin crimson beacons, unblinking, hovering 6 feet high in the gloom. Not fireflies, not reflection, but eyes, vast and infernal, boring through the veil. Heart slamming, I yanked the leash. Max yelped, bolting backward as the silhouette coalesced. Winged man, towering and taut, leathery spans folding like a reaper's cloak, form humanoid yet twisted, defying the park's tame boundaries. It shifted, deliberate, a guttural rasp slicing the fog as if tasting my panic. No cry escaped. Instinct hurled us into reverse, the pavement blurring under frantic paws and boots, shadows lengthening like pursuing fingers. Glances back revealed the glow trailing, faint, persistent, weaving through trunks with unnatural grace, until we burst into the lit pavilion, chest heaving, Max trembling against my legs. Lights banished it, but the park's hush lingered heavier, the red imprint searing retinas. Whispers now ring true. Mothman prowls not for sport, but omen. And in the city's pulse, something fractures, waiting to claim what follows the stare.